8 most dangerous places to live on Earth. There are such dangerous places in the world that it is even difficult to believe that someone is ready to live there and fight with nature day after day. Here are 8 of the most extreme locations on the planet that require cleverness, resources, and extraordinary skills to survive. Pole of Cold, Verkhoyansk, Russia. In the cold taiga, at a distance of 4,800 km to the east from Moscow, deep in Siberia, there is the city named Verkhoyansk. The lowest temperature of minus 67.6 degrees was recorded here in February 1892. It is the oldest city in the Arctic Circle, with a population of only 1,122. Verkhoyansk is the coldest city in the world. That is where name Pole of Cold from. It's hard to argue with that, considering that from September to March, the sun illuminates the city on average less than 5 hours a day, and the temperature in the winter rarely rises above minus 40 degrees. Fire Mountain, Merapi, Indonesia. Even during the quietest time, Indonesia's largest active volcano on Java Island continues to smolder threateningly. The smoke from the fire mountain rises up to a height of 3 kilometers. During the eruption of Merapi in 1974, 2 villages were destroyed. Several cases of the death tourists and volcanologists were recorded, graves of whom can be found right on the volcano. In 2010, during another eruption, 350,000 people were evacuated and 353 people died. The perfect storm, Gonaives, Haiti. Subtropical storm Faye covered the coastal Gonaives city in August 2008, followed immediately by Hurricane Gustav, followed by Hurricanes Hanna and Ike. Thus, one of the 5 largest cities in Haiti was targeted by 4 destructive tropical cyclones, as a result of which Gonaives was practically washed into the sea. Most of the city was buried under the mud of submerged in dirty water, the level of which in some places exceeded 3.5 meters. The death toll reached 500, but 208 was not the deadliest in the history of Gonaives. In 2004, Hurricane Jenny buried about 3,000 people. Lake of Death, Central Africa. Lake Kivu, located on the border between the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, is one of the African Great Lake. The surface area of the lake is about 2,700 square meters, and its depth reaches 480 meters. However, under the lake, there are deposits of carbon dioxide and 55 billion cubic meters of methane, which is deadly dangerous because the slightest earthquake or volcanic activity can lead to a devastating explosion. 2 million people from the population of nearby territories are in constant fear of dying from a methane explosion or from carbon dioxide asphyxiation. Ephemeral Islands, Maldives. 10% of the territory of the Maldives. It's a chain of 20 atolls consisting of 1,192 coral islands. Became uninhabitable after the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004, which killed more than 80 people and left a third of the population homeless. However, even more difficult trials await the island ahead. The Maldives can completely go under the water in a few decades because even now, not a single island rises above the sea level by more than 2 meters. World Hurricane Capital, Grand Cayman. The Cayman Islands considered a true tropical paradise, are located in the Caribbean Sea, 240 kilometers south of Cuba. Many tourists come to the Caribbean for unspoiled beaches and diving. However, Grand Cayman, the largest of the 3 islands, became well known as the world's hurricane capital, as it suffers from a devastating natural disaster every 2.16 years on average, which is more often than in any other territory in the Atlantic Ocean. Hurricane Ivan, which raged here in 2004, destroyed almost 80% of all structures on the island and left 40,000 residents without electricity and water for several days. Tornado Alley, Oklahoma City, USA. More than 1 million people live along the I-44 highway in the United States, which links the state capital of Oklahoma to its second largest city, Tulsa. Every spring, when cool, dry air from the mountains descends into the plain and meets the warm, moist air from the ocean, crushing whirlwind erupt along I-44. Since 1890, Oklahoma City and the surrounding area have been hit by tornadoes over 120 times. In May 1999, 70 whirlwinds at the same time passed through the state of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, and the most destructive of them swept through Oklahoma City, destroying 1,700 homes, damaging more than 6,500 buildings, and killing more than 40 people. Wandering Deserts, China. The once fruitful Minkin oasis is going through hard times, squeezed in between deserts. A 10-year drought and the disappearance of rivers have led to the fact that sands are rapidly approaching the region from the southwest and northwest. In total, since 1950, deserts have swallowed up more than 160 square kilometers, and the local population has grown from 860,000 to over 2 million at the same period. The vast desert is approaching people at a speed of about 10 meters per year, reducing the area of farming land by 6 times. Don't forget to subscribe and like it. Thanks for sharing, and bye bye.